Yo, what is up? Zach here at TrueForm HQ. Today we're going to go over hip position in walking and running, and then as well as when you're running, how to pick up speed by controlling your hips and controlling your core. So today I have the TrueForm runner and trainer model. Both models you'll be running with the same hip position because that's just natural principles of running and walking, but just to give you a couple different angles and then some slight differences in feeling between the two. So here on the runner model, when you step up on it, remember eyes are looking forward, head is tall, like a string is pulling you from your top of your head, so your head, shoulders, hips are a nice straight line all the way back down to that trail leg, especially if you're running, whether it's an endurance running or even a full sprint run. And we're just going to start walking. And as long as you keep your eyes forward and have that string kind of pulling you from that top of your head, keeping you nice and tall, your hips should be a nice neutral position. And when I mean neutral, I just mean think of your hips like a bucket of water. So you have a bucket, there's water inside. If your hips are neutral, the water's not going anywhere. It's nice and controlled. If you got a little tilt in your hips, maybe roundness in the lower back, the water kind of falls out, and that's where we can start to see some problems, possibly uncontrolledness or feeling uncontrolledness, as well as maybe some lower back pain, and then possibly sometimes as well the bucket of water kind of falls out backwards, some core tightness or hip flexor tightness as well. So we want to keep that nice and neutral whether we're walking or if I start to increase speed. As you can see, besides my arm swing, from my hips all the way down, all the way up to my head is that same straight line. It's very controlled. My knees are just raising a little higher so I can start to generate more power and generate more force down into the ground as I get into my running, 5K pace. If I start to pick it up into almost like a sprint, my arm swing gets a little bit greater, but the hips remain neutral. Same thing on the TrueForm trainer model. Now the biggest difference between the trainer model is a little bit different tread design. There's a little higher quality tread in the TrueForm runner model. So the trainer has a lighter feel to it. It's more of a light commercial grade feel. So with that, if you're not standing tall and your hips are not in that nice neutral position, again, that feeling of unbalancedness can come out of it. But everything else stays the same, whether you're walking or running. Now, if you struggle with poor hip position, maybe you just never were taught it, or over time it starts to lag as your form gets tired. If you're going out for 5-6 mile run, we start to get tired, start to get fatigued, and our form starts to break down. One of my favorite exercises we're gonna do on the ground to teach yourself and strengthen your body to have that nice neutral hip position is called dead bugs. So you start down on the ground. Once you're on the ground, you're going to be laying nice and flat, and hopefully you have a yoga mat or a softer ground than I do right here, but laying nice and flat, kind of tuck your chin in, double chin, that is fine. Legs are straight out in front of you. Dorsal flex your toes, so pull those toes in towards your shins, flex the quads, squeeze the glutes, and your arms are going to start above your face, your chin, kind of thumbs in line with your chin, and then you're going to raise both legs up at the same time while you're maintaining the flex the quads, straight legs as possible. As you can see, Coach Zach has a little tight hamstrings. Some of you individuals out there might have even tighter hamstrings. Your knees can't fully extend out. And if that's the case, you can lower down your legs a little bit. But key here for this exercise and throughout the whole portion of the exercise is your lower back on the ground. If you can stick your hand underneath your lower back, that's that bucket of water where it's tilting forward and the water is falling out. You want to press your lower back on the ground and kind of breathe in, flex your core as well while you're flexing your quads and your toes. And then from here, there's many different variations, but I like to go just the opposite arm, opposite leg variation, where you're lowering your leg down towards the ground. You're lowering your opposite arm behind your head while one arm stays in front of your face and one leg stays straight up in the air, flex as possible. But again, key here is bucket of water, your lower back stays nice and flat. Go 30 seconds up to a minute and do a few sets, 2 to 3 sets of those, and then pop back onto your TrueForm and see the difference, feel the difference. Feel that lower back, although you don't have the ground to reinforce that positioning, but you should feel, again, from your head, shoulders, all the way down to your legs is that straight line. So there you have it. That's the principles of keeping your hips engaged and how to enhance the quality of your walking. Pick it up to a little endurance running and even up to a sprinter's sprint on the TrueForm.